this speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you trippingly on the tongue.
But if you mouth it as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines.
Nor do not saw the air too much with your hands, thus, but use all gently.
For in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness.
Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor.
Suit the action to the word to the action.
With this special observance that you overstep not the modesty of nature.
For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature.
To show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image and the very age and body of the time, his form and pressure.
My husband's hand, thy mistress, Pisanio, hath played the strumpet in my bed. The testimonies were of thy bleeding in me. I speak not out of weak surmises, but from proof, as strong as my grief and as certain as I expect my revenge. That part thou, Pisanio, must act for me. Let thine own hands take away her life. She hath my letter for the purpose where, if thou fear to strike and to make me certain it is done, thou art the pander to her dishonor and equally to me disloyal. False to his bed! What is it to be false? To lie in watch there and to think on him? To weep twixt clock and clock? If sleep change nature, to break it with a fearful dream of him and cry myself awake? That's false to his bed, is it? I false? Thy conscious witness, some Italian strumpet hath betrayed him. For I am stale, a garment out of fashion. And for I am richer than to hang by the walls, I must be ripped to pieces with me. Oh, men's vows are women's traitors.
What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the tempted, who sins most? Not she, nor doth she tempt, but it is I, that lying by the violets in the sun, do as the carrion does, not as the flower. Corrupt with virtuous season, can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than a woman's lightness? Having waste ground enough, shall we desire to raise the sanctuary and pitch our evils there? Oh, fie, fie, fie. What dost thou, or what art thou, Angelo? Dost thou desire her folly for the things that make her good? Let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What do I love her? That I desire to hear her speak again and feast upon her eyes? What isn't I dream on? O cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints dost bait thy hook. Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on to sin in loving virtue. Never could the strumpet, with all her double vigor, art, and nature, once stir my temper, but this virtuous maid subdues me quite. Even till now, when men were fond, I'd smiled and wondered, how?
This is Paulina in A Winter's Tale, speaking truth to power in verse.
What studied torments, tyrant, hast for me? What wheels, racks, fires, what flaying, boiling, in leads or oils? What old or newer torture must I receive, whose every word deserves to taste of thy most worst? Thy tyranny, together working with thy jealousies, fancies too weak for boys, too green and idle for girls of 9. Oh, think what they have done, and then run mad indeed, stark mad. For all thy bygone fooleries were but spices of it. That thou betrayedst Polixenes, 'twas nothing. That did but show thee of a fool, inconstant and damnable, ingrateful. Nor was't much thou wouldst have poisoned good Camillo's honor to have him kill a king. Poor trespasses. More monstrous, standing by, whereof I reckon the casting forth to crows thy baby daughter to be or none or little. Though a devil would have shed water at a fire ere done't. Nor is directly laid to thee the death of the young prince, whose honorable thoughts high for one so tender, cleft the heart that could conceive a gross and foolish sire. This is not no laid to thy answer, but the last. O lords, when I have said, cry woe. The queen, the sweetest, dearest creature's dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet.
These heroines live full lives, and it is so hard to watch them die time and time again. Here's the Scottish king, learning that his wife had just died.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Even now I read, there's a moving grove. If the hand that wrote this ere now speak false, upon the next tree shalt they hang alive till famine cling them. If their speech be truth, I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till Birnam Wood do come to Dunsinane. And now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm! Arm and out! If that which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarum bell! Blow, wind, come, rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with, I seek. To me can life be no commodity. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor I do give lost. For I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy and first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily, is from my breast the innocent milk in its most innocent mouth haled out to murder. Myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet. With a modest hatred, the child-bed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here, to this place, in the open air, before I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die? Therefore proceed. But yet hear this. Mistake me not. No life, I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor, which I would free. If I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proofs sleeping else but what your jealousies awake, I tell you 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
I think Crab, my dog, be the sourest natured dog that lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling, our cat wringing her hands, and all our house in a great perplexity, yet did not this cruel-hearted cur shed one tear. He is a stone, a very pebble stone, and has no more pity in him than a dog. My grandam, having no eyes, look you, wept herself blind at my parting. I'll show you the manner of it. This shoe is my father. This left shoe is my father. No. This left shoe is my mother. Hey, that cannot be so neither. Yes, it is so. It is so. It had the worser soul. This shoe with the hole in it is my mother. And this my father, a vengeance aunt. There it is. Now, this staff is my sister, for look you, she is as white as a lily and as small as a wand. This hat is Nan, our maid, and I am the dog. No, the dog is himself, and I am the dog. Oh, the dog is me, and I am myself. So. Now, come I to my father. Father, your blessing, now should not the shoe speak a word for weeping. Now should I kiss my father. Well, he weeps on. Now come I to my mother. Will I kiss my mother? Or there 'tis. My mother's breath, up and down. Now come I to my sister, and mark the moan she makes. Now the dog, all this, sheds not a tear, nor speaks a word.
I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises, and indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory, this most excellent canopy, the air. Look you, this brave overhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire. Why, it appeareth no other things to me than a full and pestering congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how expressing admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? There is always more to hold on to on the other side of fear.
You do look, my friend, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful now. Our rebels now are ended.
These are actors. As I foretold you, we are all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air.
And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve.
And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wreck behind.
We are such stuff as dreams are made on.
And our little life is rounded with a sleep.
Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own.
Let me not forevermore remain to dwell in these bare squares by your spell.
But release us from Cyberland with the help of your good hands.
Now I want spirits to enforce.
Art to enchant.
And my ending is despair.
Lest I be relieved by prayer.
As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set us free.